One of the most repeated claims people raise involve public displays of grief. Critics point to a video filmed over Charlie Kirk's casket. What they say is that it did not look like a private mourning, but rather something staged for public consumption. They describe the behavior as performative rather than organic. Are you ready for facts? Unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. The Joe Rossano Show is next. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Hi, I am Joe Rossano. Dare I say, let's rock. Today, we are going to be talking about all things Erika Kirk and the allegations that are circulating online. Although these allegations may not be statements of fact, but the alleged behavior by Erika Kirk is why questions continue to be asked. And one more thing before we begin, as Charlie Kirk himself famously said, you better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. That quote matters because many people now believe that asking questions is exactly what they are being told not to do. One of the most repeated claims people raise involve public displays of grief. Critics point to a video filmed over Charlie Kirk's casket. What they say is that it did not look like a private mourning, but rather something staged for public consumption. They describe the behavior as performative rather than organic. Another clip that is frequently referenced shows Erika Kirk holding a necklace outside of a moving SUV, appearing to cry, but with no visible tears. Some viewers note the repeated dabbing of one eye, again, with no tears falling. People say this created a disconnect because grief is usually involuntary, messy, and unguarded. They argue this looked controlled. That's what they say. Please like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for our latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Now, one of the most emotionally charged moments people continue to cite happening is during an appearance on the Charlie Kirk Show. Erika Kirk recounted a moment involving her daughter asking, "Where's Daddy?" Her response, "He's on a work trip with Jesus so he can afford your blueberry budget." That line has deeply disturbed many listeners. People online argue that framing the death this way could cause a child to internalize guilt, as if her needs somehow contributed to her father's assassination. Again, this is not a psychological diagnosis. It's public reaction to a public statement, and people are still reacting strongly to it. Another moment frequently discussed is Charlie Kirk's vigil. Critics describe the scene as highly theatrical. They point to a white pantsuit, pyrotechnics like a Kiss concert, dramatic staging, biblical scripture that some say was misquoted. What raised eyebrows was not just a spectacle, but the forgiveness statement. At the vigil, Erika Kirk publicly forgave Tyler Robinson. Now, here's why people were confused. Tyler Robinson has not yet been convicted. How can forgiveness be issued for a crime that someone has not been legally proven to have committed? Some people feel that doing so pre-frames guilt, while others believe it was an attempt at a high moral ground. Either way, it sparked questions. There is also widely circulated image of Erika Kirk smiling and embracing J.D. Vance at the vigil. Observers point out the contrast. Leather pants, broad smiles, casual warmth. This moment, critics argue, seemed out of sync with the gravity of the event. Again, not proof of anything, but optics matter, and people noticed. Let's talk about what people see as a contradiction. During her book tour, Erika Kirk, seen here with Sean Hannity, seemed to express visible frustration, even anger, when audience members asked questions. Yet, at the same time, she publicly forgave someone accused but not convicted of involvement in her husband's death. So critics ask, why forgive an alleged perpetrator but bristle at people simply asking questions? To many, that feels reversed. Another major flashpoint is an interview with Barry Weiss. In that interview, Erika Kirk stated that she had not dated for 5 years prior to meeting Charlie Kirk while she lived in New York City. Critics strongly dispute this claim because there's cameras. They point to footage of her on Summer House, Instagram photos showing her as a couple with Cabot Phillips. Now, none of this is illegal. None of this is immoral. But people argue that it contradicts her public statements, and contradiction fuels speculation. Perhaps one of the biggest issues for many people is this. Erika Kirk has asked the public to stop asking questions. For critics, this is the ultimate contradiction because Charlie Kirk's message was always the opposite. You better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. So people ask, why silence now? Why discourage skepticism? Why ask for trust instead of transparency? Those are not accusations. Those are questions. Here's the truth. When public figures place their lives on public stages, especially during moments of tragedy, public scrutiny follows. That does not mean conspiracy. That does not mean malice. It means accountability. And when questions are met with hostility instead of clarity, people do not stop asking. They ask louder. Let me be clear. I am not making accusations. I am reporting what people are saying and why. If everything is exactly as presented, then transparency should end the conversation. But telling people to stop asking questions, history shows that never works. Charlie Kirk himself told us why, and that's why this conversation isn't going anywhere. My dearest friends and fellow Americans, it's once again time for, yes, I would have to say probably my favorite segment here on the Joe Rossano Show, and that is your questions and comments from the jar. So let's see what we have. Shake them up. I don't know why I do that. I guess it works. Not sure. So let's grab the first one here. It's from Aaron. Aaron asks, Joe, do you think Candace Owens is out to get Erika Kirk? Certainly seems like she is. Candace, if you're watching, and to everyone out there, I just want to say this. I give Candace Owens what I'm going to call a partial pass. She had a very personal relationship with Charlie Kirk. They exchanged thousands of text messages, and they were together a lot. They made public appearances a lot. They grew up in this business together. And I truly think that she wants to find out what happened to her friend. I think a lot of the questions that she asks are valid questions, very valid questions. And there is a lot of suspicion. Is she out to get Erika Kirk? I mean, she says stuff about her quite a bit. If I turn on Candace Owens on YouTube, I'm going to hear Erika. So is she out to get her? She is indeed responsible for any matters surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, his assassination. Then maybe our friend Candace should be out to get her. And next is from Marcy, and Marcy asks, Joe, do you think Erika and JD Vance are going to get together at some point? No. Well, not anytime soon, and I will give you my reasons. Think about this. What are they going to do? Get together and run for president and first lady? Okay, if JD Vance divorces his wife, there is going to be a lot of women out there, a lot of college educated women, a lot of women who are divorced themselves, etc. They're not going to like that. They're not going to vote for him because of that. And then you're going to have people in general who don't appreciate that JD Vance is now with Charlie Kirk's widow. It's going to be a backlash. Will they ever get together? It would have to be several years from now, and that's if JD Vance, Vice President Vance, runs for president and he loses. Then he may get divorced and then get together with Erika Kirk somewhere down the road. Let me try to get to where I think your question's coming from. Is JD Vance sooner rather than later going to get a divorce from his wife, get together with Erika Kirk, run for president? She's first lady. I just think that would probably upset more folks than it would give them an opportunity to get more voters. So no, absolutely not. I do not think they are getting together. Once again, and as always, my dear friends and fellow Americans, I always have to say how much I graciously appreciate spending a little time with your pal Joe Rossano here on the Joe Rossano Show, where we are unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. I will kindly ask you to please like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for our latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. As always, God bless you, my dearest friends and fellow Americans. Don't forget to adopt a pet, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show.